Good evening, brothers. I have the privilege tonight to share a testimony that I'm hoping that would inspire and encourage you to be wise and strategic with your money. You know, money is always a challenging topic because if you're anything like me, it is a very vulnerable topic. We all come from different stages when it comes to money. We either are good with it, we either are bad with it, we're growing, we're learning. There's many different aspects of it. But I just wanted to share that there was a time when I just wasn't that good with money at all. And the scripture that comes to mind for tonight's lesson comes out of Proverbs. Proverbs 22 verse 7 B says that the borrower is slave to the lender. And you know, there's nothing that brings greater pressure into our lives as men than having to deal with financial debt, having to be drowned, and constantly reminded of the bills, of the different things that we have to take care of, especially if we are a husband, if we are a father, or if we are roommates with other people. There's aspects of responsibility that we are called to be able to take on when it comes to money. And I used to not have anything. I grew up poor. I grew up in a very, in my opinion, very bad circumstances. So you can imagine that when God blessed me with a job and I was able to make some decent money, I never felt I had enough. I never felt I had enough money. I never felt I was making enough money because I felt entitled to want to spend, to buy the newest car, to buy the newest clothes, to have all these different things that really I didn't need. I just wanted. It was a desire, and it led me to more and more debt. My mind was set on, if I see something I love, I want it. If there's an electronic that I see, I'm gonna get it. A laptop, a game system. And I just felt like, oh, I had credit. I can just pay right now on this credit card and just worry about it later. But the thing that I wasn't realizing to myself was that if I didn't have the money today, what makes me think I was gonna have the money later? All of my money, all of my paycheck, everything was constantly already taken. It was already accounted for on all these debts. And then I would borrow from one 0% credit card and transfer that money over to another 0% credit card. You know, almost borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, but it was still debt nonetheless. And it wasn't until about 2014 when I had to be humble. You know, everyone kept saying, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta budget, and you would get out of debt. I was like, no, that's not true. I didn't believe it. I think a part of that was my pride. As a man, we don't want to be told how to really deal with our finances. We don't want to be told that we're doing something wrong. We don't want to be told that there's a better way of handling our finances. That if we're strategic, we can be able to breed. We can be able to accumulate wealth and be able to do the things we desire, like being able to donate, be able to give to special contributions very generously, being able to plan for vacations, be able to plan trips, be able to buy things all out of cash, not on credit. It is possible, and I'm here to tell you that it's very, very possible. But it does take a change of our mind. It takes a change of heart, and it takes a change of understanding on how you relate to money. Is money to you a status? Is money to you a tool? You know, do you know where your money is going? Are you telling it for every penny, every dollar that's being spent? Are you saying you're gonna go here? I'm gonna utilize $1 on this bill. I'm gonna use $1 on this transaction. Or are you just letting the money do what it wants? Because I tell you, as someone who's been through it, if you let the money do what it wants, you're never gonna have control over it. You're never gonna have enough. You're always gonna want more. You're always gonna need more. But if you control it, if you guide it, if you make that budget every single month and plan strategically on where your dollars are going, you'll be able to stand above it. You won't have to worry about facing the everyday pressures that I was doing, living paycheck to paycheck. But you can be able to breathe. You can step back and assess things and make those strategic calls, those strategic decisions to be able to go. I just want to be able to challenge each and every one of you, and myself included. I've not claimed to have taken a hold of it. I've certainly grown a lot, but I still need to be reminded. I still need to grow and to be wise. And the challenge is just to really take the time and look at your financials. Where does most of your money go? Where does 50% of it go? 60% of it go? Is it going to things that you truly, really value in your life? Or is it going to things that was a cause of the entitlement that we may have? But I just encourage you to really look at the scripture of Proverbs and say that the borrower is slave to the lender. Let's make a plan. Let's make some practical habits of really taking a hold of our money so that we can be able to do greater things. I remember in Financial Peace where Dave Ramsey has said a quote that I want to be able to reiterate to people. He said, imagine how powerful we can be as a body, as a church, individually even, if we had the wealth to be able to utilize the heart God gave us to be able to help those in need, help the widows, help those who are poor, helping those in times of like this, in the pandemic, who've lost their jobs, who don't have much, where we can be able to give to them, give a lending hand, be able to help out in that way. We can only get there if we're being wise and being strategic with the funds and the money that God entrusts us with. So I just pray for each and every one of you to really take a look at that and to really plan on creating a budget, and also having that budget with special contribution in mind that's coming up here in the month of May, and to really think how we can be able to put aside the day-to-day pressures and be able to take a breather by being able to rise above the different debts and the different callings that social media, commercials, billboards are calling us that we must need, we must have. We don't need the latest iPhone. We don't need the latest Android. We need a phone to be able to talk to someone. But let's just think wisely and let's be able to make godly choices. Thank you. To God be the glory.